Bayern Buddies back with another video. Today we're going to be taking on the topic of, has Bayern fallen off? Has our stature as a club really declined over the past few years and decade? I mean, we definitely feel that it has, and we just wanted to discuss that with you guys, get your thoughts about not just the players, which is a big topic, but the club overall, how it is as an entity, and what we think, how it's fallen off.
We saw what happened last year, just randomly sacking Nagelsmann. I definitely didn't agree with that decision. Sure, they brought a great coach like Thomas Tuchel in, but I mean, there was no structure, there was no organization in that decision making, because they said our treble was in danger, when in reality we were like a couple points behind, 2 points behind. We're in the DFB Pokal quarterfinals and we just beat PSG, dominated PSG in fact. So saying the treble was in danger at that point was kind of, I think that's a little sus if you ask me.
Yeah, we'll get more into the coaches, but let's start a little bit off with the top. We want to start with the board itself.
The board, right.
And because that's where everything stems down from. It all starts at the board. At the end of the day, Bayern is a business, but as a club. So yeah, let's start with the board and a bunch of the mistakes they made. I mean, I feel like the board was way better organized in the past.
Yes.
Maybe we're trying to talk in the time frame of the last decade, so let's say 2010 to 2024 about. I know it's not a decade, but about that time frame. And yeah, I just feel like the overall feeling of Bayern has changed a lot, and not in a good way.
We have Herbert Hainer as our current president right now. He was president of Adidas before Bayern. He was elected in, I believe, in 2018. I could be wrong with that. I definitely think like that was sort of kind of the downfall, even though 2020 we had that great year, but
kind of a fluke almost.
It was almost a fluke because it was COVID year, and sure, we dominated all the teams, but I think that was more like due to the players and due to like the coaching staff and all that with Hansi Flick, and how everything was just so compacted. But definitely with Herbert Hainer came in, it got a little bit more shaky. I don't know if he's specifically the reason why, but then we obviously elected like Oliver Kahn. Brazo was always there.
We got to talk about those two a lot.
Yeah.
They came in and were out almost. It felt like the next day.
Yeah, literally, Kahn was there for like a year or two. I remember I was so hyped for Kahn because Kahn is a legend. Kahn is a legend. He won this Champions League back in 2001. If you think about a German goalkeeper besides Manuel Neuer, you think of Oliver Kahn. I always think of him wearing that snapback hat, being just really aggressive. I thought he was going to succeed, but unfortunately he didn't succeed. And obviously Brazo too. We saw that altercation with Flick. And that was the reason why I believe Flick even left in the first place, and why I believe he didn't even want to come back to Bayern, just to avoid that altercation. Which, from Flick's point of view, I believe that does make a little bit of sense. I mean, Brazo, at the end of the day, he got sacked literally when we won the league last year, when Musiala scored that banger against Cologne, which is kind of harsh, but I mean, he was a decent sporting director, but like the signings that he made, I mean, like Bonassar, like Choupo-Moting, Leroy Sané, like, it could have worked out, but obviously they didn't really work out for us.
Yeah.
We replaced him with Max Erbel, and he's yet to do anything because he just started, so it makes sense. So we'll have to judge him on that after the transfer window ends. But I mean, it's very unfortunate because I really wanted Flick to stay that year, and Brazo had its problems. Brazo, they had that altercation like I mentioned. I
mean, we could just go through the decisions they've made, at least maybe through the Kahn era or the past couple of years, like sacking Nagelsmann, signing Tuchel. Obviously Flick wasn't really sacked, but that falling out.
Now sacking Tuchel as well.
Yeah, that one. And then also the players like you mentioned that they brought in, compared to like we used to bring in players like Robin, Ribery, Schweinsteiger, Lewandowski. Like, just hear those names. Like, none of the players we've signed recently are going to live up to any of those names, I think. And then also, I know Konrad Laimer hasn't been terrible for us, but it's another signing that's kind of like, okay, like whatever. There's just been not as many good signings, and I think they've just really made a mess of the club itself. The decisions they made is just unexcusable. Like, I'm hoping these new signings, maybe the rearrangement after the sacking of, or I guess firing of Kahn and Brazo. Yeah, I'm hoping we're on the up from here.
Okay, at least we're not in debt. I mean, we did bring in Kompany, which is, we have a little analysis on that. But you got to really question the board on why it was Kompany.
Yeah.
Max Erbel, you were the one that wanted Kompany, so also, I guess we'll just have to,
Yeah, you could also get into how they kind of messed up our wage structure. That's been a big topic at Bayern, like the board, like that's down to the board, no one else. I know, of course, football's going in a different direction than it was 10 years ago with, the pricing of players and whatnot. But I mean, you still have to blame them for not sticking to what, Bayern's known for. We're not known for spending this much money on players. And you just look how much money we've spent in the last 5 years alone. That's another big thing that they're trying to fix now. So yeah, I think the board has obviously brought us down a lot, but I think now we can move on to the coaching the past couple of years and how that's also been a big, not really stable situation.
We bought Ancelotti in. A great coach, phenomenal coach. He's won a couple of Champions Leagues with Bayern, with AC Milan. Great coach. We did sack him after that 3-0 loss against PSG, I believe, in the Champions League, which, okay, makes sense. Standards are definitely high for Bayern if you're making a sacking like that. Then we obviously bring Jupp Heynckes. We didn't have a backup plan with that. Jupp Heynckes just came in. He's like, you know what, guys, I'll do some charity work for you. Obviously won us the treble back in 2013. Great coach, definitely. He even coached Madrid too back in the 90s. After that, we brought Kovac in, and I thought Kovac was going to be, a decent coach. He played for Bayern. He was a decent defender, not great, but decent defender. Won a couple of trophies with us here and there. Can obviously speak German. Has that Croatian PR. Managed Croatia too. He did good against Frankfurt. We ended up losing to them in the DFB Pokal final. He obviously gets sacked, and then we obviously bring in Flick. We didn't expect that from him, but Flick was the assistant manager for Germany's 2014 World Cup win. So kind of expected, kind of not, but sextuple, definitely did not expect that. Great coach, and then obviously that altercation with Brazo.
Like we mentioned,
and then Julian Nagelsmann came in, and I think that was fantastic because he managed Hoffenheim, he managed Leipzig, so I think Leipzig is a great team. They were in the Champions League. He made the Champions League semifinals with them that COVID year when we won the Champions League. So very young manager, definitely the youngest out there. I believe even Neuer is even older than him, which is actually insane. I think he did pretty well with us. That game against Villarreal was, it was a tough watch. It was very hard. But, we should have won that game. We had a lot of chances. We just, you can't really control the players. We had a lot of injuries too. And then after that, like we mentioned, Tuchel coming in.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical about that. I was very disappointed, in fact, because Nagelsmann, come on. Nagelsmann is a great manager. He could definitely shift something forward with Bayern. He could definitely start something brand new. We could start a new era with Bayern. But, we sacked him. We were 2 points behind, 3 points behind. The planning of the board was just very off right there. And, we were very lucky to even get that Bundesliga title because of Musiala, because he turned up.
We've just been flip-flopping for a long time. Yeah, it's just the coaching has been an interesting topic outside of Flick. Flick's another one we lost, but
Players' egos. You gotta go. Kimmich, obviously, you're a great player. Definitely has that Bayern DNA in him. But play a right back. Let your ego get out. I know you want to be a midfielder, but you are the best right back in the world once you play there. The Bayern locker room, there's always been egos. I remember with Kovac, even some players were even refusing to play, were even refusing to even talk to Kovac. If there's a coach and he's telling you this is how you play, this is how you do, no matter what you think about the coach, just play for him. Bayern appointed him for a reason. Your club appointed him for a reason. Just go and play. Listen to him.
Just the players that we have, the squad we have, I just feel like maybe the quality, maybe it's nostalgia talking, but I just feel like the quality, let's just go into our wingers. Compare Ribery to Coman. Compare Sane to Robin. Compare let's say Kimmich in midfield or Goretzka to Schweinsteiger. Compare him to even Thiago. I know that wasn't even that long ago, but he was with us for that run. I feel like a lot of the players are just a really step below, and that could be another reason why we're not doing as well. Maybe we're not attracting those top players anymore. I think basically just Bayern needs to reshape in this 2020 decade, and I think a lot needs to change to get us back on course to be more competitive, how we used to make semifinals all the time. That's not happening anymore. And
that's pretty much it, what we have for you. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Have we actually fallen off? I believe we have. Definitely. A little bit, we definitely have, but we have the season right here to prove that wrong. So let us know what you think in the comments down below, and thank you guys so much for watching.
Peace.